Hi guys, and welcome to the TruGolf Academy. You've joined me, Jon Watts, at Drayton Park Golf Club, and today I want to do a video in my swing studio talking about the role of the right elbow, or the trail elbow. For me as a right-handed golfer, it is my right arm. If you're a left-handed golfer, of course, that's going to be your left arm. So you can apply the same logic to this. It's the role of that trail elbow in the swing. And I just want to give you a few keys of what it should be doing in the swing and how you can feel that. So a couple of exercises is a really important part of the golf swing. So the first thing I want to touch on is the elbow position at setup. Now that might not sound particularly important to you, but I find a lot of people with a lot of tension in their setup, and they'll actually find that this trail elbow is locked straight. We actually want it to start with just a little softened. I'm not saying it's a real flex position, but not locked. So it's just got a little softening in that trail elbow, because that will allow it to bend correctly in the backswing. It has a few other effects if we get it wrong. So if we do get that right arm in a straight position, it'll also start to mean from a downline position, I'll just try and get in here, from a downline position, what it will mean is my shoulders will be much more to the left of the target for me as a right-handed golfer in what we'd call an open position. So when this right arm gets too high, too tense, too straight, the shoulders will be pointing more to the left for a right-handed golfer, more to the right for a left-handed golfer, so in an open position. It has a few other effects. It even affects my weight distribution at setup. So if I do get that right arm high, what you'll tend to see is my spine angle change and tilt a little bit towards the target. And as that happens, I've started to apply a little bit more pressure onto my front foot, onto my lead leg before I start the swing. So it has a few negative effects if we do start with that right elbow in too straight a position at setup. So make sure it's got a little bit of softening in there to allow it to bend. Now, what we're looking for it to do in the backswing is to stay bent. It's moving up my right side, so it's starting to move towards my right hip and then away, and it's moving up towards my right side of my rib cage here. We want to, at the top of the backswing, create around a 90-degree angle. Okay, so we don't want more than that, as any more than that angle, and I'll get that chicken wing position where my trail elbow is flying away from my body. That really starts to mean my arms and body are being disconnected from each other. So my arms are going to start working independently. It has an effect on the club position as well. So when I get that right elbow flying, or that trail elbow flying, we'll tend to get the club cross-lined as well. So we want the right arm, the trail arm, to be bending in the backswing, but we want it to stop at that 90-degree angle rather than going anywhere beyond that. So a good way to feel that is just stand normal, move that right arm to a 90-degree position, and now just turn your chest away from the target. So 90 degrees with the right arm, with the trail elbow, and turn away. That's my right elbow position, that's my trail elbow position. If I just put my left arm on there, we can feel what that would be like. So if you are someone who gets more of a chicken wing or overswings, good exercise for you to feel that we're not going beyond 90 degrees with that right arm. The last thing, so the third point I want to talk about with the right arm, the first was the start position, the setup, making sure we've got that right arm, that trail elbow just a little softer towards our trail hip before we start the swing. The next part, so part two, was allowing that right elbow to bend but not passing 90 degrees. And the third bit is to try and maintain the bend in that arm until just after impact, what we call post-impact. What we see with a lot of golfers is they're actually losing this angle here with the right arm before impact, and what you'll see now is my right elbow is actually behind my right hip. It might get to about level with the right hip, but it's going to mean that the club is passing my hands. That's going to have a negative effect on the strike, the loft on the golf club, the distance the ball's going. What we're really looking for is that arm to remain flexed, bent, and actually it doesn't straighten until after impact. And you can see at impact, which would be here, my right arm is ahead of my right hip. So my trail elbow is ahead of my trail hip. So I've got a good exercise for you to get that feeling. I've just got to a sponge ball here, could be anything, and I just want you to go ahead. It could be skimming a stone. I think we've all heard that analogy before, but it's good to go back to that feeling. So I want you to, into your golf setup position with this right arm a little bit flexed, I want you to make a backswing where this right arm doesn't pass 90 degrees, and on the downswing what we're trying to do is maintain that angle with the right arm, staying pretty close into my right side, and it's straightening after impact, which means my elbow is ahead of my hip, and I'm going to get some real downward force. So I'm just going to try and throw it against the wall. If I got this wrong, so if this right arm started to straighten early, which we see a lot with this casting movement, I'd be throwing the ball more straight down at my right foot or behind me. I won't be getting the speed and the power into the wall in front of me towards my target. So let's try a proper one here. Right elbow staying flexed, not passing 90 degrees, and straightening after impact. So I'm getting that downward force here. It's a great exercise to then go into picking up a golf club and try and get that same feeling. Right elbow is flexed, not passing that 90 degrees. It's staying flexed on the downswing, and it's straightening just post-impact. So 3 key points of what that right elbow should do. Let's try and hit one, getting that feeling, that right elbow. So starting a little softened, allowing it to bend but not past 90 degrees, and it's straightening after impact, not before impact. Right, let's give it a whirl. That felt really solid. It was slightly right to target, a slight push, but contact felt really, really good. Definitely getting that ball turf contact, not the other way around. The flight would show that as well in terms of the launch angle and the spin rate. It wasn't excessively high where I'm getting the club passing my hands. Give those 3 key points a go. I know it will help you next time you get on the golf course. Great, of course, to try at home or on the practice area first before being able to take it to the golf course. Let me know how you get on. Post some comments and questions below. I'd love to be able to answer those. And we'll see you next time, guys. Thanks very much.